day 3 of building my AI product in public and putting myself through a crash course of learning the best ways to efficiently make really good videos with AI. So for today's video, I used Claude Design, believe it or not. I didn't even know it was capable of this. I mean, the tool is brand new. It's only been around for like a week. It's a very new tool. So there's a lot that's unknown about it. And I originally went to Claude Design to have it design the brand kit for my business. I was gonna have it give me a prompt based on the design that it came up with for a motion graphic advertisement for the logo. And then I was like, I wonder if it could just do that. So I said, make a motion graphic of the logo of this brand, which I'm calling Video Factory. That's not the book to film. This is a slightly different subset of it. I had it make that. I just said, create a motion graphic of this Video Factory logo, and this is what it came up with. And then I popped it into Descript and I cut it down a little bit. I wasn't able to download it straight from Claude, so I did a screen recording of the motion graphic, and then that's what I put into Descript, cut it down, and then I had Underlord actually come up with the sound effects. And Underlord did something cool. It gave me 5 options of sound effects, and some of them didn't work at all because they were like 11 seconds long for this 5-second motion graphic. But I chose the one that ended up being on there. It's not the best, the way that it cuts abruptly. It probably would have been better if I'd timed that to where that sting happens right as the logo drops into the page. But I think it turned out pretty cool. And again, another example of something that 2 or 3 years ago, I might have gone on Fiverr, paid somebody $20 to make that in After Effects, and it was made in 5 minutes and a couple prompts. So absolutely incredible. In other news, I had a video I made yesterday on my Descript teaching channel where I showed the Claude and Descript integration. It's a new feature as of a couple weeks ago, and published it this morning, and it's already got over 500 views, which is great for that channel. And it's got like 30 watch hours, which is just mind-boggling. It's happened to me a couple times where I have a video go semi-viral where it's getting tens or hundreds of views in the first few hours. And I just think that's so cool. When I spent maybe 2 hours making the video and it's got coming in on 40 watch hours. So the leverage on my time. And if I think about standing in front of a group of 500 people, that would fill a basketball court, like a high school basketball court, or a fairly large room, auditorium in a university. So that's really cool. That's really cool. And what it shows to me, more importantly, because I've been talking about Descript for a long time, I have hundreds of videos. I have an idea of what works. Like, for example, when I talk about layouts, those tend to do pretty well. When I get into the really nitty-gritty details, some more advanced level topics, they don't do as well. They do, okay with a small subset, but the beginner market is so much bigger. And so it is with this topic, because talking about Claude, that's a much bigger tool. If Descript has 6 million users, Claude has 600 million users. So giant audience. And then, and it's something easy. Like, the title of the video was literally AI edited this video for me. Like, that's pretty attractive. But it's got me rethinking my direction with that company as well. So I set up a Google form asking, and I pinned a comment on that video, and I said, hey, if you want me to look at one of your videos, come up with an AI workflow for it, fill out this Google form. So I've already gotten a couple of responses for that, but that is a direction that I'm gonna go, and I'll talk about in these videos as I come up with AI workflows that will save people real time on their editing projects. So like, I got somebody that had a course, somebody that had a talking head video, somebody that had a screen share type of video. So it'll be cool. And that might be the direction that I go with this, is consulting people on how to set up these automations, these AI automations for themselves, so they can spend less time editing. As I always tell my editing students, which is, I'm not a very good salesman, but I tell them editing is a low leverage activity. Like, you want to get out of editing as soon as you possibly can, because, and that's always been true. Like, you can hire somebody somewhere else that loves editing and is really good at it, has been doing it for a long time, for very cheap. It's a commoditized service. And that's becoming increasingly more and more true. And that's the purpose of this Video Factory project, is to make video editing extremely fast, extremely cheap, and commoditized. There's still going to be an art to it, and that's why I want to make sure that the human oversight is always in the loop, that you always have the ability to make judgment and artistic calls on the videos. But this is only going in one direction, which is that video editing is going to get easier, it's going to get faster, it's going to get cheaper, and there's going to be more examples of good editing out there. And so you'll be able to train the AI on a specific style of editing and say, I want you to replicate this. I was showing to my YouTube community today, I have a group where we meet up once a week and we talk about YouTube stuff, feedback on thumbnails, feedback on videos, things like that. And I showed them how I can download somebody else's thumbnail. So I just went to youtube.com. I grabbed one of the first ones I saw. It was some girl that had a tutorial, and she had like the shocked YouTube face, extreme type of thing. And I copied the link to it. I dropped it into youtube-thumbnailgrabber.com, downloaded it, popped it into Nano Banana Pro in Descript. There's the AI tools, you can generate images. Popped it in there as a reference. Then I added a photo of myself, and I said replace the woman in the photo with the photo of the man, and it did it. And so it's leveled the playing field. The best thumbnail creator in the world, you can take their thumbnail, because it's publicly available there on YouTube. There's nothing stopping you from doing exactly what I did, and taking their work and putting your spin on it, whether that's your face or your logo, your product, your whatever it is that you're making a video about. And I'm not suggesting plagiarism. Change it enough that it becomes yours, and think through what's relevant to your audience, because you can't just take a Mr. Beast thumbnail and expect it to work on your accounting video or whatever you're talking about. It has to be relevant to you, to your audience, to your style, but it can take a significant amount of the burden off of not only the creative aspect of it, but the mechanics of it. Because so many of us have ideas in our head of how we want something to look, and we know what good looks like, and good is subjective. So you like one type of YouTuber, I like a different type of YouTuber. But if I can take that style and apply it to my talking head videos, and I'm going to be talking in my voice with my intonation and my type of jokes and my whatever, but I take that style that I like, then it becomes uniquely mine. Or I pull something from this guy over here and something from this guy over here and this guy over here, and I mash it into this unique new thing. That is what creativity is all about. I would argue there's no such thing as a completely original idea. Like, everything comes from somewhere, some influence that you've seen somewhere. And there's things that are only possible because of technology, like digital art, and things that were made possible by Photoshop, and then now by these AI tools that any bizarre, crazy thing that doesn't exist, you can bring into existence with some prompts by describing it in the right way. I just had a thought. As much as what I'm doing right now, talking to the camera, is about AI video, and that's my focus, this is a historical piece And that might sound grandiose, but this is a historical timepiece about a giant transition in how humans live. Up until now, humanity has been the apex intelligence on Earth. If humanity represents 90% of the intelligence, let's say animals account for 10%. I don't know. I don't know of any animals doing math or engineering or things like that, so maybe it's less, but whatever. Humans account for the vast majority of intelligence. I think we can agree on that. And there was nothing else, I mean, other than the animals, computing wasn't even probably considered an intelligence. It was just a tool. It was a thing that gave you leverage in being able to communicate thoughts faster, or organize thoughts faster, or store thoughts in a more permanent and immutable way. But now the intelligence is starting to become real intelligence, depending how you define that. Arguably, it's not a true intelligence yet, but I think it's getting very close, and it's very smart in a lot of ways, in the way that it can pass a bar exam and a medical exam and do calculus and all sorts of things. It can also do some very dumb stuff. But if you look at what ChatGPT was like the day it came out in November 2022 and what it was like 6 months later, and then every 6 months or so beyond that, it's exponentially getting more intelligent. So if we say that it's 1% of the intelligence now, next year it might be 10%. And the year after that, it might be 99%. And then humans are no longer the apex intelligence, somewhere between, 12 months from now and 2 years from now. So that's all to say, this could actually be a very interesting thing of me just like spouting off to the camera about events of the day and like, hey, this new tool just came out, I just tried it, and this was crazy. And it's like, wow, that was so primitive, but at the time it was impressive. That's kind of another way that I'm thinking about this, is documenting my thoughts through this incredible transition that is happening.